Good morning, brothers. It is about 7 a.m. I already did my routine. I already recorded one YouTube video, and I'm recording a second one. In this video, I want to talk about the one decision that I made in my life that doubled my income, where I didn't have to do any overtime at work. Me, right now, I work a 9 to 5. I'm a sales representative for businesses that work under Verizon. And I used to just be a sales rep. And as I was a sales rep, I was noticing that my income was either falling flat, staying the same, or it was going down because I wasn't consistently going after goals towards my commissions. And so, each month I felt like I was getting little progress towards my jobs. It felt unfulfilling. It felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. And it's because I didn't make a decision to level up my income. One of the main things that I struggled with while I was at work was working while still focusing on other things. Like I would work, but I'd still be focused on videos that I had to make at home. I'd still be focused on Instagram stories that I had to make and post. And since I was so focused on all this extra stuff, I could never have full and utter attention towards my work. And so I thought that I was working towards my goals because, at my work, I'm working towards my business. I'm working towards social media. I'm thinking of video ideas. But not only was I stressing myself out because I was doing way too much in the mornings at work, I literally had zero free time. And it felt like my brain was running on autopilot. But that absolutely killed my motivation at work. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I felt like the only thing I was focused on was my business, which, it's a good thing to focus on because your business is what's actually going to get you to the next stage of your life. It's going to propel you to break out of your 9 to 5 and get to that next level. But I promise you, if you're only focusing on your business, your job's going to fall flat. And you need your job if you're going to have an income or, a savings of a large amount so you can quit your job. Because I wasn't having my full and utter attention at my job, I wasn't getting the income I wanted. And because I wasn't getting the income I wanted, I was falling farther behind my goal of quitting my 9 to 5. The only way that I could quit my 9 to 5 is if I save enough of money up and I build an income outside of that. And so those are the two goals. But because I wasn't focusing 100% of my time during the time I was spending at work towards getting a better commission, making more money, building better relationships, getting a better job, making more money overall, because I wasn't focused on that, it wasn't happening. I had to develop this one simple rule. I stopped fake grinding and built this one ruthless rule that set me apart from everyone else, which was while I'm at work, the only thing that I can focus on is making money. I do have an hour lunch at work, which half of the time I don't even take it at my new position. But now at that half hour or that hour of work, half of it I'm eating, and then the other half I'm spending maybe posting stories, creating videos, whatever I need to during that allotted time. But the time that I spend, I purely and only focus on one thing. If I'm at work, I'm not going to focus on my social media. If I'm working on my business, I'm not going to focus on my work and my relationships and trying to build it. I'm only focusing on one thing at a time because if I'm able to focus on one thing at a time, I'm able to get so much more progress than just being lazy and focusing on too much stuff. I honestly became scatterbrained. It felt like I couldn't focus. I was stimulated without even stimulating my brain, but it's because I was always looking for the next move. It honestly took a step back. I had to pull away from the scene. I had to tell myself that if I continue to do the same shit every day, I'm going to burn out, and that's going to lead me to start working overtime and then be in the trap of my 9 to 5, and that's not what I want to do. I realized that I was getting low ROI hours of the day, days of the week that I was spending working towards my job. It felt like it was just so bombarded with so much work. And then when the weekend came, I wouldn't get anything done. I'd be lazy. I'd slack off. I wouldn't make videos. I'd wake up late. And it wasn't because I wanted to. I was just drained. And it's all because I wasn't focusing my energy into the right tasks. I had to develop focus blocks. And it's the same outside of work as it is inside of work. So when I'm outside of work, I'm still working only on my business. So if I have my phone and I'm constantly checking notifications, I'm constantly checking social media, I'm constantly doing the next thing, I'm constantly looking for something, I promise you, the only thing that I'm gonna get is regret. I had to tell myself each and every day, during this period, I only have these tasks. I have this, I have this, I have this. And then I only focused on that. That's how, I was able to 2 times my commission. And it's not just commission, it's so much more in life. When you start to focus in and dial in on areas of your life, you're gonna realize how much potential you have. When you start to only focus on work, you're gonna realize that within a month, you're able to make so much more money. And then when you start really locking in on your business and you're spending 1 to 3 hours a day on it, you're gonna realize in a month, you could have started a business a year ago, but you've just been slacking off. Once you start it, you're gonna realize how much time you've wasted just by wasting your focus space. Not being able to focus on one thing. For the longest time, I could not focus on anything. And it's because I was overstimulating my brain. I had to relax my brain. I had to tell myself, hey, Jonathan, you need to make more money. You need to quit your job. You have goals for yourself, so why aren't you getting there? And the reason that I was not getting there is because I was so bombarded with everything that I had to do on a day-to-day basis. I felt like I couldn't fully focus on my business because I was focused at work on my side activities. When I would go to the side activities, I would start focusing on the work that was not needed at that time. I felt like I had no focus in life. I felt like I could not push past my next barrier. And I had to break free out of that. I had to stop this fake grinding and start actually developing purpose and focus blocks. I kid you not, the progress that I've seen once I've implemented focus blocks is 10 times more progress than any other system that I've implemented into my life. And not only that is it more productive, it reaps more rewards. Now I'm able to have 2 times the amount of commissions because I set these goals in mind. When I go to work, I tell myself each and every day, I have these tasks which keeps me motivated. A lot of people, they work 22 days of the month. And of those 22 days, they're not motivated, they're not pushed to do something each and every day. They're most likely just looking forward to the next day, to the next week, to the next Friday. But when I go into work, I set a goal of mine each and every day to become 100% of my capabilities, which means locking in on everything, doing everything that I can, performing at my best. The only way I was able to perform at my best though is by pushing every distraction to the side and really honing in on my skills of focus and solitude. Because once I was able to do that, I saw so many rewards. And also, while I'm at work, I have all these people around me. All these people that have these distractional lives where they just like to talk and waste time. I put myself away from that. And I stem from a system of growth, a system of learning, a system of only wanting to improve. So my time is more valuable than a lot of the people that I'm around, mainly because I'm only learning and I'm constantly improving into my life. And that's the same type of mentality that you have, because once you develop that mentality, you're gonna realize this is the one decision that can double your income, which is focusing more on what is needed and focusing less on the distractional things that come up into your life. And these videos, they're not specifically for you. These videos are for me. These videos are for me when I fall back and I realize that maybe some of my vices, maybe some of my distractions are coming back up in life. I have these videos to keep me accountable. If you want some type of accountable system, you can watch these videos or you can create your own. Any person that I talk to right now, I explain to them the need of a personal brand and accountability. And this does exactly that. Not only do I have a personal brand to where, by 2030, Everyone that has a personal brand is happy and well-rounded, and anyone that doesn't is going to be regretful because everything's moving to online. You know, look at the past 20 years. In 20 years, it's going to be completely different. You want to have some type of online presence, online brand. And the way that I was able to do that was by keeping myself accountable, by posting these videos for myself each and every day. And that's the exact same thing you should do. Post these videos even if you don't want to. Just make something of yourself. Develop these focus blocks. Focus at work solely on your work and developing your income, getting to the next job, getting to the next skill. And then when you work on your business, only focus on your business. Stop wasting time on stupid shit. My name is Jonathan. Save this video and watch it before you go to work. Watch it before you go into your deep focus blocks to remind yourself that you are purely and only focused on the task at hand. That's how I was able to see so much progress. My name is Jonathan. I'll see you guys in the next one.